He should be apologising.
It was only last year when Mick Lynch was putting Tory politicians in their place that I came across Jonathan Gullis.
It's the doctors and nurses who can't get to hospital, the patients who can't get their operation, the kids who will miss out on their education today, but also those armed forces veterans who risk their lives for our freedoms, who won't be able to celebrate Armed Forces Day on Saturday.
Here's how Lynch dealt with him.
Do you want to apologise for all that, Mick?
Well, I think Jonathan should apologise for talking nonsense. None of that is true. That is just stuff that's written in Conservative Central Office for backbench MPs to spout,
no
along
sorry
with their
to veterans,
ministers.
Mick. OK, so no
Now,
sorry to
I
veterans.
don't want this disruption. I don't want people to be
Good to know veterans
inconvenienced,
are
and
going
I
to be left
want a
without
settlement to this dispute. I can't do that with a backbench MP who's just learned it off a script.
Now, though, Gullis keeps cropping up like a bad penny, saying bile in a way that gives him the air of a man whose wife has just left him because he's a miserable Look at that face, like a man who's not going to let diarrhoea ruin his wedding night.
Mr. Speaker, a minority of woke warrior teachers think it's acceptable to push extremist nonsense onto pupils such as white privilege and try to cancel important historical figures such as Sir Winston Churchill.
Now, I know that there are comparisons to be made with the 30p Lee Anderson, but Anderson is a grifter who seems like they're constantly auditioning for GB News.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now then, in Ashfield, I have pensioners who cannot get to the local library or the post office because of a lack of bus drivers. But there are no lack of bus drivers in Kent shipping illegal immigrants to their four-star hotels. Isn't it time that we declared a state of emergency?
Gullis, though, seems to believe it, or more precisely, seems livid, and someone else needs to take the blame. This comes in light that Gullis was bullied at school and admitted that he self-harmed and was suicidal as a result. Rather than let that experience shape him in a more humane, positive way, I feel that Gullis appears angry and now is using that anger to become a bully himself.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very glad to see the Honourable Gentleman was let out of detention by the Standards Commissioner for his very naughty letter that he sent only recently regarding me. But let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the Honourable Gentleman is making a point.
I just say, we want better taste in the House. Being a minister, he's no longer on the backbenches, so his rhetoric needs to be of a minister. I know he's got that standing and capability. Come on, Minister.
Mr. Speaker...
Click here to see Rishi Rich squirming like a worm in the sun when asked about being filthy rich.